or an established business that offers great and unique services or products that you want to get the word out? Are you looking to grow your business and you want everyone to hear the buzz about it? Do you have an amazing project or an idea that impacts our community that you want to share and get others involved in? Then you've come to the right place. You're listening to Community Connections with Norma G. I'm your host, occupational therapist Norma Guerrero, and I want to share our passions while connecting with our community. So now let's get ready to hear about what's hot, what's new, and what's happening on Community Connections with Norma G. Give us a call at 888-565-1470 and join our conversation. This is another day.
Yeah, but we can talk about that.
Welcome back to Community Connections. I'm your host, Norma Guerrero, and I'm so happy to be here with you today, and thank you so much for tuning in. Today is Monday, September 25th, the day after my birthday, so thank you, everyone, for all of my birthday wishes. In fact, I got this in the mail today from Miss Sarah Finkelstein and Paul Finkelstein. It was such a nice little lovely gift, so I told them I was going to make it my pen show. It's a nice pink pen with a little bit of glitter on it, so I said, this is my little pen show. Kind of matches my logo a little bit, too. So I want to thank you for my guest last week with Whitehall Boca Raton, Sergio Rodriguez, the marketing director, as well as Dee Renaud, the owner and pharmacist over at SkyMed Pharmacy and Infusion Services, for coming and sharing about everything that they did in preparation prior to the storm and post-storm. And on that note, since last week, we kind of know what happened with the Caribbean as well as with Puerto Rico. And I want to, my producer, he's Puerto Rican, Freddie Santori, and I'm actually half Puerto Rican. My father is. And so there is a restaurant called Isla del Coqui. And coqui, in Spanish, if I'm not mistaken, is the frog. I actually should have asked Freddie that before. And, Puerto Rico got unbelievably devastated. There's very, very limited power there, very limited resources. I guess the big thing is the power and the cell phone. It's a communication breakdown. So this Puerto Rican restaurant that is located, Isla de Coqui, located at 3092 Jog Road in Green Acres, Florida, 33467. Their phone number is 561-642-0204. They are collecting pallets of food, water, anything that you want to donate, whether it be clothing or baby care or whatever it is that you feel that you can send to the country. They're getting planes together and they're getting them to fly over there. So again, it's Isla de Coqui, Puerto Rican cuisine, 3092 Jog Road, Green Acres, Florida, 33467. And it's just, whatever is, on your heart for any of these organizations or any of these crises that are happening, whether it's in the Caribbean, whether it's in Houston or here in South Florida, we thank you all for continuing to support those needs. And so I will continue to share that information with my family. I spoke to my father. He says that our family is okay, flooded home, but they have a lot of practical physical needs that need to be taken care of. And so I want to move on to our show today. We're going to be talking with Mike Zanardelli. He's back from 7.2, the Alkaline Company, and I'm excited to have him back on the show. And we also are going to be talking with Dr. Clive Woods. He is an orthopedic foot and ankle surgeon specialist, and he's going to be breaking down the foot for us and talking about his specialty that he does here in South Florida through West Boca Medical Center. And you're listening to us at 95.3 FM, 1470 AM, locally here in South Florida. And we are live streaming on Community Connections with Norma G on Facebook. And you can also find us at iHeartRadio, 1470 AM WNN. As well as any questions for our guests, you can reach us at 888-565-1470. And so, Mike, welcome back to the show again.
Great to be back.
I'm so happy to have you back. And so many of you know Mike as a little bit of a regular here. He's been a strong supporter of the show, as well as I have become a little bit of a strong supporter of his product line. Didn't know that was going to happen when he brought it to my attention. But I ended up responding very, very well, as we've spoken about it in the past. And we have, in the past shows, talked about the 7.2 protein shakes, as well as the 7.2 greens. We have individual little segments on that. And so today, we are going to be talking about this one right here, the 7.2 Hydro Recovery FX. And so... or the Recovery Hydro FX. And so, Mike, take it away. Tell me about this product and, why is it so great as a complement to the rest of these products in your line?
Well, I appreciate you continuing to invite us back. And, it's been exciting for me to be able to have work with someone who has a health professional background, you get introduced to a new, new set of products. You go, well, I've kind of seen everything out there. You try it, you get a great result. And I think that's why our company as a whole has done so well, is because when somebody tries our products, 1 day, 2 day, 3 days, you feel different. And the whole objective of what we have is feeling better today than what you felt yesterday. So whatever you're looking for. So, in the beginning of our company, we're coming out with we have a small line, small SKU of products to really be very effective in health and an impact product in each of the areas that we actually have them. When we came out with recovery, it was really designed so that people say, well, what's recovery for? It's what do you want to recover from? Do you have an achy body? Are you sore after exercise? Do you want to perform better at your athletics? Do you wake up in the morning, your back sore? What are those issues in your life that most of us, for however old we are, have kind of depleted our body and done some pretty harmful things to our body over a period of many, many, many years? So this is a product that actually can help our bodies get back to a balance and really kind of propel you forward. Now, there's a lot of research around what this product does. What it actually does is turns into molecular hydrogen once it hits the stomach. And what that does is molecular hydrogen called nanobubbles, or a gas, if you will. So it permeates the blood-brain barrier very quickly. So unlike most vitamins and things that you take that have to go into the large and small intestine, this actually goes right through the stomach into the blood, and you can see it affect live blood cells in 3 minutes. So someone's able to get a very quick result. Now, if somebody wants to say, okay, well, how do I know there's real science behind it? Because there's no sense me talking about a product. Because when people say, well, I can get that at Whole Foods. And no, you can't. There's a website you can go to. It's called molecularhydrogenstudies.com. Molecularhydrogenstudies.com. It's third-party validation on study after study after study of what's happened out of the scientists and doctors from around the world that come together every year for a symposium now, talking about the benefits and actually the miracle of what molecular hydrogen can do to the body. Now, not our product, but molecular hydrogen has been studied against 67 different disease models, and in every case, it improves the challenge. Not our product, but we actually do have our product written up in several different peer-reviewed articles. So our product has been studied in its actual delivery of what we say is in there.
Wow, wow. Well, when I was reading up on it as well, to molecular hydrogen, I'm not a chemist.
Right.
And so it's kind of like a weird word that you got to, okay, what's a molecule? What's hydrogen? And then, okay, how are those interacting with the body? And so molecular hydrogen in recovery attracts free radicals and wipes them out. And so that's what it's doing in the body when it gets into the stomach system, is what you're saying?
No question. Once it gets into the blood, because again, it goes through that blood-brain barrier very quickly. 3 minutes, you can see it affect live blood cells. If you were to take a blood sample, put it under a microscope, see how it looks, do another blood sample 5 minutes later, and you can see the blood looks completely different. What this is a super selective antioxidant. So we've always told that antioxidants are good, like berries are very good for ourselves so that we can slow down the oxidation process. Really means our bodies are rusting from the inside out. So most people with certainly aging, they want to slow that down as much as possible. But we take vitamin C. A lot of people say, well, I know it's good. It's an antioxidant. I've been taking it for 30 years. Do I feel any different? No. But do I think it's affected me? Yes, I do it for precautionary. What's unique about this product is people feel different. So when somebody takes this, it will actually search the body to find those corrupted cells. It attaches itself to that cell, turns it to water. So that if you have a challenge going on in the body, this product is extremely effective at being selective as an antioxidant to really go after those cells that are, basically corrosive or oxidizing very, very quickly.
So how often do you take this? So we have the powder that we've talked about in the past, the protein powder, the protein shake that we have also recommended to mix in with the greens.
Correct.
And so that's helping moving your body towards more alkalinity.
Correct.
And so this recovery, is this something for people that are recovering from an injury or recovering from working out? How are people supposed to take this, and what is it, a pill?
It is a pill. We have this in two forms. I'll talk about the other form in just a moment, but this is a pill form. Very, very small. Kind of looks like if you've ever had a Pez, very small candies, if you will. This is very small, very easy to swallow. But we recommend most people start their day when they're doing their shaken greens with just 3 tablets or as needed. So this actually will stay in the blood for about 5 hours. So most of us are up for much longer than 5 hours. So do you want to continue to protect your body, or do you just want to go, well, I'm just going to take it for chance? What we've noticed is people that are recovering from injuries, like myself, I have back surgery about 3 years ago. I used this a lot of tablets on the day that I had the surgery, and several days after, never needed pain medication. Also, the swelling that was actually on my scar went down incredibly fast. My
Wow.
doctor said, wow, it's been only been 7 days. What have you been doing? And I said, well, I've been using this product. And I know that most of the medical community, a lot of them don't embrace things unless it comes from a pharmaceutical. But what we're seeing is a lot of people in the medical community now saying, wow, this has been incredibly effective with my patients. It's okay if it's a nutritional supplement. I get a chance to recommend something healthy rather than something that has maybe some counterindications to it. So, but this product's been amazing with people that are athletes. We have people in the NFL, people in the NHL, people in basketball. We need talking about people that understand their body and want to actually perform at a better level or recover from that sport. Like NFL, our hockey players. We had several that played this year. The All-Star team, we had several that played in the finals that were using our product. And they said when they used our boosters, which we'll talk about in the future, and our recovery together, their skate practice, they said their thighs would recover so fast from usually what happens is you get that buildup of lactic acid. We've shown in high-level athletes, and the studies we've done, this can reduce lactic acid buildup upwards of 18%. There's just not another product in the market that can do that.
And the lactic acid is that what builds up in your muscles after you tear them apart with working out. It's what releases out of the muscles.
Yeah,
And so this helps reduce that lactic acid buildup, to therefore reduces some pain. So
absolutely.
is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, you have someone who has to be in like a long distance runner or cyclist or people that have to, it's a long sustained output of energy. What they're noticing, even our long distance runners and marathon runners that have used our product, they said, we usually train and are sore. We usually run the race and we're definitely sore for days. But now we're training and we're not sore and we're running a race and the soreness goes away in a day from using our product. So we know there's actual results out there. And when you're looking at an athletic level, for example, you're looking for just a small percentage to
Yeah.
be that much better than the next person out there.
So what I'm hearing is that it's a powerful antioxidant and it's a powerful anti-inflammatory that can help complement your regimen, in your whether you're an athlete or not.
Absolutely.
And so that's really, really cool. And so clearly it's not having a negative effect on you.
No.
And so, on that note, you look great. You look like you're in great shape. And so, what tip could you give, someone who's listening out there that, I know this has been a lifelong commitment, to your health and wellness. You didn't just start doing this last week. But I think that there's always that you can always, give that inspiration of hope as to, what could people be doing to have better health and wellness besides just taking the supplements. But, how do you get up? How do you get going?
Well, I tell you what, a lot of that begins with just making a decision. A lot of people kind of waver in that decision, just like a gym membership. They say, this year's my year. I'm going to make a New Year's resolution. They go to the gym in January and they see that it takes a lot of work and effort to actually get around the gym. They're sore. They don't like the way they feel. It takes a little bit of time. And by February, it's just back to the regular people that have always been there. And it really just takes a commitment of saying, listen, I want to be better in my life later in life than what I am right now. Because I've seen that discipline affect people that were later. Like my father's worked out his entire life, even through his working career, 4 days a week.
Your father?
Yeah, and I've seen him at 70, 75 years old doing stuff that most 50-year-olds or 60-year-olds would never even think of. And, I had a great example to follow. But for me, it's about, most people say, wow, you look great. What do you do? It's like I make a decision every time I eat. What am I going to eat? Now, do I eat perfectly? No. Am I a vegan? No. What I'm saying is at least try to do something every day that's going to benefit your health long term. You're not
Right.
going to see an effect overnight. Most people are into this instant community. They want instant results. They want insta. That's just not how it is. If you're overweight, it took you years to get there. So it's going to take probably some time to get it back off. If you're out of shape, how long did it take you to get out of shape? It's funny, when I went back to my high school reunion years ago, I see all these guys I played football with completely out of shape. I'm like, wow, what happened? You just left football, and then after that you said, I'm done. I'm just going to go to the pizza counter and drink beer and get heavy and not work out. It's
Right.
like, you have to make a decision.
The decision.
And what our product is doing for a lot of people is it's making a decision a little simpler to do one thing healthy every day when you get started. And that's really the basic bottom line.
And that's why I have, continued all my friends and family around me. They're all hearing me talk about it all the time because they see me traveling with it around and carrying it around and hearing my blender early in the morning because, making nutritional, you first making a decision, then making nutritional decisions and understanding, which foods, push you more alkaline or more towards acidity. It's not that we're not going to eat foods that are acidic. It's just that what are we doing to counterbalance it?
Right.
And that's where this product is helping with that because, like I've said it before multiple times, when I make the shake and I have a long day and I'm not coming back home till 9, 10 hours later, I'm finding the long, sustained mental clarity, energy without I'm not a coffee drinker, without the dip in
Right.
energy. Whereas if I just walk out with just a cup of water, now, if I have a lunch with foods that clearly give me that energy, that's certainly a boost and a help with the spinach and the greens.
Of course.
And that's what the benefit of the greens are. And you're eating food that has the protein, that's going to help. But sometimes you just don't get that food
Right.
because you're on the go. And I'm a person that's often on the go. I prepare meals and I do that. But when I combine the two, the nutrition with the supplement, I get a big, huge boost. And I just find that I can endure the stresses of life just a lot better. And as well as it doesn't hurt that you get, stress is a very fascinating thing to deal with. But being able to sleep better and being able to accomplish your tasks is very, very rewarding. And so I'm very, very grateful for having found this product. Mike, how do we find you if someone wants to purchase it? Because it's a direct sales product.
It is.
It's not something that you can purchase in a store. How do people find you? How do they ask you more questions about it?
You can go to plantbasedph.com as my own personal website. They can go and watch videos on the products to give themselves more education. I'll let everybody know, all of your viewers and your listeners, that we do have a 60-day, 100% money-back guarantee. That's how strongly we believe that our products will have an effect with them. And you know what? It's not a narcotic. Don't expect it to happen in 20 minutes. But if you take the product for a couple of days, take it for a couple of weeks, take it for a month, take it for 2 months, you will notice.
There's no doubt.
There'll be a noticeable change in how you look and how you feel. So 60-day money-back guarantee, or you can call our 1-800 number. If you leave a message there for me, I will actually respond to you personally. So 1-800-994 1-800-995 5361.
Yes.
1-800-995-5361. That is a personal 800 number that I have. And again, if you want our products, we can get them out to you.
994.
I'm sorry, 1-800-994-5361. Don't give that number out too much because it's free for them to call. But
Awesome.
It's a way for us to be able to get products to you. It comes direct from the company, straight to you. And if you want to set up some kind of auto ship, it makes it very convenient. You don't have to worry about running out to the store because we're not available in stores.
Sure. Well, I'm definitely at the bottom of my barrel here on my second one, as well as on the bottom of my barrel of my second or third one here. And so I'm getting ready to place my order again. And so I really enjoy the product. I'm going away next week, so I'm going to do a little travel. I don't want to stick this whole thing in my suitcase, so I'm going to try and get the little pouches, packets of it.
Sure.
And so, Mike, I love it when you come into the show and you give us that boost of energy and of positivity and good health and those tips and continue. So tell me about the Hydro FX real quick with the water.
Hydro FX, this is basically our recovery product in a powder form. Why is that important? You can use this in foods that you use, but more importantly, you can use it in the water that you drink. Water is incredibly important. We can go without food for a long, long time. You can't go without water, and more importantly, very, very clean water. What this can do, you've heard about these machines that make a high pH water.
Yes.
And those are great machines, but they cost $5,000 if you get a good one. The reality is nutritional science is advanced. Things have advanced since those machines were made 20, 30 years ago. Reality is we have a product right here. Take 2 little spoonfuls. You can put that in any bottled water, and you get a high pH water that delivers hydrogen. Hydrogen is not very stable. So if it's in a water jug and you keep it in your fridge because somebody made it, that hydrogen is not available to you the day later. Okay, but they might be getting a high pH water. This actually can give you a high pH with a high delivery of hydrogen in the water, and it's beautiful for traveling because I traveled last week and it's bottled water everywhere you go. And obviously that's not the best you could drink because you're drinking out of plastic, but we're not going to go there. But if I add that to it, I have a high pH water, which most people are going to the store today, and they can spend $2-3 to get, pH perfect or whatever Essentia. There's different waters out there that are absolutely going after the market of being high pH water because people are starting to understand the importance of it. You hydrate quicker, your cells actually absorb it quicker.
So just one little scoop,
Yeah,
just like
just-
that.
yeah,
I mean,
two-
this thing is minuscule.
Yeah, it's very small, like the size of a Tic Tac in powder form, if you will. And it dissolves completely in the water, no flavor whatsoever. And again, it gives you a great water that will hydrate you faster and deliver that molecular hydrogen that's so important.
And these are the tablets.
Those are the tablets.
So you could recommend those like 3 in the morning, and then if you want, you say it stays in the body like 5 hours.
About 5 hours, or use them as needed. Some people take them before a workout and after a workout. A lot of folks notice a difference.
Well, that's great. I didn't know about this powder for the water, so I'm gonna take a look at that. And so awesome. So we're gonna have Mike back on probably next month again, and so and that's when we're gonna be talking about the alkaline booster, which is a product that you take at night to help with restful sleep, as well as to bring your body back into alkalinity after we have those late night dinners and those glasses of red wine late at night that are all acidic. And so it's very, very interesting how that product works. I've been happy with how that one makes
Right.
my body feel as well. The hard part about taking any nutritional supplements, not the shake so much for me, it's the pills. It's just remembering to take your vitamins and remembering to take your supplements. And so, that's another whole story in itself, is remembering to do that. And so, Mike, once again, tell us again and right into the camera, how do we find you, your phone number and your email, or whatever, your website?
You can look at the website at plantbasedph.com, plantbasedph.com, or you can reach me at 1-800-994-5361, 1-800-994-5361. Leave a message. If you're going to call that number, I will return your phone call. It's funny, some people call just to see if it's a real number and then they hang up. Does me no good and does no you good, no good for you. My job is really to help people feel better today than what they felt yesterday and prepare them for a future that can be healthier rather than some of the challenges people are facing.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, a small investment to purchase products. And so, but it's when you feel better, you actually accomplish better things in your life in different ways. And it opens up a lot more doors for you, because when you're feeling sluggish and fatigued and malaised and all that, it's because you just not getting enough nutrients in your body. And so it's an investment well worth it.
It is.
So thank you again, Mike, so much for taking the time to come in. And I want to thank 7.2 as well as Whitehall Boca Raton and SkyMed Pharmacy for helping putting on this show. And once again, I want to repeat the phone number, and I'm going to put this on my website, on the Facebook page, Isla del Coqui. And that's the island of the Puerto Rican cuisine, 3092 Jog Road, Green Acres, Florida, 33467, 561-642-0204. You can call them. I don't see a person's name on here. They're Isla, ISLADELCOQUI restaurant.com. You can check them out, call them, see what their needs are, see what the country's needs are, and if you want to send anything over there, if you have that Puerto Rican tapping on your heart to help them out. And so I'm going to give my family a call and see what we can do. So we'll be right back with Dr. Clive Woods, and we're going to be talking about his orthopedic foot and ankle surgery. And thank you again, Mike, so much for coming in.
Thank you, Norma.
I appreciate it. We'll be right back with Community Connection.
Are you having trouble sleeping or staying asleep? Feel like you've tried everything and nothing works? Studies show if we are out of balance or too acidic, it can directly affect our sleep. Now, a new doctor-formulated solution is available directly to you. Alkaline Boosters is a fast and natural way to get a restful night's sleep. Take advantage of this promotional offer to buy your Alkaline Boosters today and start sleeping better tomorrow. Call 1-800-994-5361. That's 1-800-994-5361.
SkyMed Pharmacy is a full-service pharmacy. Our services include home infusion therapy, nursing services, and a mail-order pharmacy delivering specialty drugs directly to your home. Our team of clinical pharmacists, certified technicians, and nurses provide comprehensive patient care, generating treatment of chronic diseases both attainable and affordable. SkyMed has a foundation department and a copay assistant program. Our staff is available daily to answer any questions you may have. Contact SkyMed Pharmacy and Infusion Services at 866-778-8255, 866-778-8255, or visit us at skymed.com. That's SKYEMED.com.
Are you looking for short-term inpatient rehabilitation or long-term care placement for yourself or a loved one after illness or injury? Whitehall Boca Raton Skilled Nursing and Rehab Facility has served South Florida for over 35 years. With care and oversight from our experienced physicians, Whitehall Boca Raton offers specialized comprehensive nursing and rehab programs in neurological, orthopedic, cardiac, pulmonary, and post-operative surgical care and outpatient therapy provided by our highly experienced nurses and therapists. While recovering, you will receive 24-hour licensed nursing care along with dietary and nutrition services. We accept Medicare and other major insurances. Come see the Whitehall Boca Raton difference. Call 561-392-3000 for more information or to schedule a tour with our admissions team, and we will answer any one of your questions. You can also visit our website at whitehallboca.com. For more information, call 561-392-3000. That's 561-392-3000. Whitehall Boca Raton is committed to provide you with the best medical care.
Do you suffer from back, joint, or muscle soreness? Recovery with HydroFX is the doctor-recommended all-natural solution you've been looking for. Now, available in the U.S., Recovery with HydroFX is a specialized product for headaches, back, joint, and muscle soreness. Get back to feeling great today and order your 30-day supply of Recovery with HydroFX. Call 1-800-994-5361 and take advantage of this limited radio offer. That's 1-800-994-5361.
Thank you for listening to Community Connections with Norma G. We're the place where we talk about your business, a product, an idea, or a project to get the word out to our community. I'm your host, occupational therapist Norma Guerrero. Today we are sharing our passions while connecting with our community. Give us a call at 888-565-1470 and join our conversation. Don't forget to tune in every Monday night at 5 to 6 p.m. to join me, Norma G., and our guests to find out about what's hot, what's new, and what's happening in our community. Can't wait to see you there. Now let's rejoin the show. Who's that?
He's a foot and ankle surgeon.
Okay. Welcome back to Community Connections. You are listening to our second segment of the show, and we have Mr. Dr. Clive Woods. He's a medical doctor, an orthopedic ankle and foot surgeon, affiliated with West Bucko Medical Center, as well as Gelb Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Center. And so, Dr. Woods, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it, you being here. And so, you're listening to us at 95.3 FM, as well as on 1470 AM. You can also find us at iHeartRadio app at 1470 AM WNN. And we are live streaming, so you can watch the show now or on replay at Community Connections with Norma G on Facebook. You can call into the show at 888-565-1470 if you have any questions for Dr. Woods while we're interviewing. We're going to be talking about the ankle and the foot. And so, first and foremost, I want to say just a couple things, is that I want to thank Whitehall Boca and SkyMed Pharmacy. Whitehall Boca is a skilled nursing and rehab facility located here in West Boca that offers physical therapy, occupational therapy, and nursing services for people recovering from illnesses or injuries, as well as SkyMed Pharmacy and Home Infusion services. They are providing home infusion for high-dollar, long-term chronic illnesses in the home for through IVs, as well as home prescription delivery. And so give them a call. You can find their information on my Facebook page as well. That's SkyMed, SkyMed.com, SKYEMED.com, as well as whitehallboca.com. And so take a listen to them. And so I also want to thank you for the collaboration that we've been doing with West Boca Medical Center for bringing many of the doctors that we have on the show. And they are a hospital located where? Where's West Boca Medical Center located, Dr. Woods?
West Boca is off of 441 in Central Park North.
In Central Park North. Okay,
yeah.
and that's in 441 and like kind of Glades and Palmetto?
A little south of Glades.
Okay, great.
Right in between Glades.
And how did you make it through the storm? Your family, your office, the hospital?
My office made it through well. My house made it through well. But a lot of my family are from the St. Kitts, so I have family in the Virgin Islands, St. Thomas, St. Croix. Actually, my wife is from St. Croix, so they're still trying to, get back power, roof damage, wall damage. So we're still trying to deal with some of that, ship some food over and things like that.
And where are you from, your family?
My family's from St. Kitts.
I never heard of St. Kitts. What's St. Kitts?
So St. Kitts
or where?
It's pretty much on that same, the Leeward Island. So if you look a little bit, if you look at St. Thomas, it's a little more south and east of that. So as those chain of islands that go down, it's there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Were you born there?
No, I was actually one of the first ones born in the U.S.
Oh,
yeah,
where?
Of my whole family. Miami.
Oh, so you're a Florida boy.
Florida boy.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, great. And so, just like, I was talking about on the first segment that, that my producer, he's Puerto Rican, and so, and my family's Puerto Rican. half of my family, and so we're giving a little plug here for this Isla de Coqui, which coqui is, I believe, the Spanish word, one of the different Spanish words, I believe, for a frog or something like that, for Puerto Rican cuisine, and they are collecting items. The restaurant is located at 3092 Jog Road in Green Acres, Florida, 33467. 561-642-0204, and it's Isla de Coqui. They're collecting items, food, water, clothing to send over to Puerto Rico. I guess they're they're trying to set up some planes, which I think they've already done one flight, and get some stuff over there for what happened there last week. But that doesn't negate what's going on, what's happening and that's from Hurricane Maria.
Yeah.
This is from what we are talking about in the islands is from Hurricane
Well, they had
Irma.
Yeah, and well, in actuality, even in St. Thomas, they got hit twice. They had Irma come through, then they had Maria come through.
So Maria.
Yeah. So I even have like.
Is there anything that you want to? Is there any organization or anything that you can present right now?
Right now, that's what we're trying to do. I know, like a lot of times we ship things through this company down in Miami called Tropics. So we're trying to pack together some clothes, food, generators to try and send down to St. Thomas, St. Croix.
Wow, yeah, and so like I said, everyone, whatever particular situation is placed on your heart, just do something. And I sometimes feel so blessed of what happened. I mean, I feel not blessed. I just feel it just wasn't my time to deal with a major tragedy, and I just can't imagine. And so, on that note, you're from the islands.
Yes.
You're a Florida boy.
Yes.
You went to school. Kind of when I look at your bio, you were all over the place a little bit. You give me a little bit of background of yourself. You went to medical school in Tennessee. How did you end up in Tennessee?
Full scholarship. Yeah.
Oh.
So I started in Florida State for undergrad, and then I went to Meharry, which is a historical black college and university in Nashville, Tennessee. Went there for 4 years, and then came back to Miami, trained at University of Miami Jackson Hospital. And then from there, I did a year of fellowship in foot and ankle in Tampa. So that's pretty much my background.
Wow, and I think it's great when people move around a little bit because you get to not only develop your clinical skills, but you also kind of just, interpersonally, you get to learn a lot about the country, in various organizations. And so what drew you to foot and ankle specialty?
So at first I was going to do sports medicine. And then I watch a lot of sports, and a lot of sports injuries happens, Achilles, Liz Frank injuries. So it's like, there's something there. So, and also sometimes a lot of the sports guys do not do these foot and ankle injuries. So that's what drew me to foot and ankle.
And did you say Liz? What did you say?
Liz Frank.
Liz Frank. What is that?
So what a Liz Frank injury is, the actual metatarsal. So in your foot, if you look at the toes and come back a little bit in the foot, those are the metatarsals, and they connect with the tarsal bone, the foot bones. And there's a ligament.
And is that the long bones of the foot? Because just like in the hand, you have the metacarpal.
Exactly.
So basically, the long bone of the foot are your metatarsals. Okay.
Exactly. And so the actual foot has an arch to it, and we call it the keystone. That ligament kind of holds it together. So when you tear that, literally the whole foot can shift and kind of drop its arch. One of the people that most people may know that had that is Udonis Haslem when he had his injury years ago in his foot. So
and he's the big-time basketball player for the Miami Heat.
Oh, yes.
Yes. I followed it a little bit, too.
Mr. 305.
I was there Game 6.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
I was there Game 6.
I was screaming in my house in Game 6.
I cried.
Yeah.
Going up the escalator.
Oh, wow.
And if you're wondering what we're talking about, Game 6 is the game that was do or die for the Miami Heat, and they ended up winning. I actually saw them pull out the trophy for San Antonio, and then they rolled it back.
Oh, wow.
Because Miami ended up winning that game, and then they went on to Game 7, and it was just a great time here in Florida. And so
I loved it. My wife didn't. She's a big Spurs fan.
Oh,
she's very good with Tim Duncan.
It was several years back, so I'm glad to hear you're still married. Glad to hear you're still married.
Yes, exactly.
Because that goes back a few years. So Liz Frank, is that somebody's name? Is that why it's called that?
This is a funny story. So yes, it actually is someone's name. So Liz Frank, this is a great story. What ended up happening in Napoleon's army, Liz Frank is actually an OB-GYN doctor. And he was the doctor for Napoleon. And so what ended up happening when people are in horses, the stirrups, their foot is in the stirrup. You get stabbed in your chest and you fall off that horse and your foot twists and you get these Liz Frank injuries. So that's actually how it came about.
And that's
But,
where that Achilles,
well,
or
it's
not the Achilles,
midfoot.
I'm sorry, the
Yeah.
arch.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
arch.
It's sort of like the midfoot there. So that's an actual. I remember learning that when I was an intern. Someone told me about that, but true story. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Yeah, when you fall off a horse and your foot gets stuck in there,
Yeah.
and you can also end up with all kinds of other twists in
yeah.
your body. So we talked a little bit about on the phone. We were getting to know one another a
Yes.
little bit. You broke it down into 3 different types of clients,
Yes.
patients that you may come in contact with, whether it be a sports injury,
Yes.
a traumatic injury, and or reconstructive, where it's not necessarily something traumatic that
Yes.
happened. It's just aging.
Correct.
The body has deformity over time, and so let's talk a little bit about the sports injuries that you. Let's start with the sports injuries that you see the population, and what do you call those injuries?
Yeah, so some of the we already talked about one, the Liz Frank injury. One of the most popular ones is Achilles injuries for our weekend warriors. So what the weekend warrior is, you work during the week and then you go out and you play basketball or tennis, and next thing you know, you feel this pop in the back of your ankle. So a lot of people get Achilles tears, and we've come out with new ways to actually fix this through minimally invasive incisions. Get you back on your feet quicker. So that's one injury. Another injury, which is very common, is when someone has an ankle sprain. But the one thing about ankle sprains is that all ankle sprains do not necessarily heal. So sometimes you can get lateral ankle instability. And so what that means is if the ligament does not heal or it heals stretched out, the ankle is unstable. Same way I tell a lot of my patients, like your car tires. If your car tires aren't balanced in a line, they get all wobbly, they wear down. Same thing with the ankle joint. If the ligaments aren't holding them steady and the ankle is moving, it wears down the cartilage in the ankle and you can get arthritis. So there are also techniques that we're doing for that, where, one of the new things is called the internal brace. And what that is that before, what we would do if someone had ankle instability is we would repair the ligaments, and then you're immobilized for a good 6 weeks before you can even put weight on it, because we don't want that ligament to stretch out. With this internal brace, it's a special dissolvable suture that we put on top of the repair, and it acts as a check rein to allow you to weight bear a lot earlier. In addition to that, it doesn't let the ligament stretch out because it's that suture material holds it there until it heals.
So you're not talking about an external brace. You're talking about something surgically underneath the skin.
Exactly.
What are you calling it? What kind of brace?
It's called internal brace.
An internal brace.
So what it is normally
It's like a clip, or
it's actually a suture. So normally what we use is there's one suture called fiber wire, which is pretty strong, and they took this fiber wire and made it into a fiber tape. And in a sense, what you get is sort of the same. It's just a little wider and it's flatter, so you get a little bit more strength with that fiber tape.
And does it just stay in the body, or does it dissolve?
It dissolves. It's a suture material that will dissolve.
And how long does it take to dissolve?
Well, some literature may say, it can take 5 years, 7 years, but sometimes I've been in there and I've seen, like, let's say, because it's also anchored in with this biomaterial type of screw, and I have seen those screws, they dissolve, but there's still some remnants there.
Okay, so you're talking about that lateral instability of the ankle.
Yeah.
And so are you doing that to prevent the lateral instability, or are you finding people with unstable lateral ligaments of the ankles, and is that because they had a sprain, they didn't take care of it right, or
Yeah, so it's the people that had the sprain, and in addition to that, they ended up with instability because either one, it wasn't taken care of right, or in addition to that, sometimes it just doesn't heal. So I actually have an article in the Spectator, which is a magazine, that's called "Not Just a Sprain," because a lot of times it's you go into the ER and you sprained your ankle and, oh, here's an ace bandage, here's some crutches, and go on your way. And then, let's say it's 6 weeks, 8 weeks later, doc, I had this sprain and it didn't get better. And so they come in, and usually I'm a little bit more aggressive with ankle sprains. I get you in a boot just to kind of let everything kind of calm down, allow you to start walking. Then I get you into an internal brace, which is, well, not an internal brace, but an actual ankle brace. So
Sure.
it's called a lace-up brace is what I was trying to say. In addition to that, either therapy at home, I have a protocol of exercises, or even therapy in the office, because some people may feel better just having someone making sure they're doing it correctly, having someone motivate them as opposed to going home. It's like, yeah, I'll get to it and never get to it.
You know, so many people, as I mentioned to you before, I'm an occupational therapist. And so I administer the rehabilitation after you perform your recommendations, either surgically or whether once you release the weight bearing or begin to allow a range of motion. And so, you know, the biggest thing is getting patients to, you know, maintain compliance with the doctor's orders.
Yes.
And as well as educating them on how to utilize these braces, you know, properly and when to start to, you know, to break away from them. And so, you know, really, really interesting. And so I'm going to go ahead and take a little commercial break.
Yes.
And then I want to come back and talk about the trauma aspect, you know, and the reconstruction as well. And so we'll be right back with Community Connections.
Do you suffer from back, joint, or muscle soreness? Recovery with HydroFX is the doctor-recommended all-natural solution you've been looking for. Now, available in the U.S., Recovery with HydroFX is a specialized product for headaches, back, joint, and muscle soreness. Get back to feeling great today and order your 30-day supply of Recovery with HydroFX. Call 1-800-994-5361 and take advantage of this limited radio offer. That's 1-800-994-5361.
Are you looking for short-term inpatient rehabilitation or long-term care placement for yourself or a loved one after illness or injury? Whitehall Boca Raton Skilled Nursing and Rehab Facility has served South Florida for over 35 years. With care and oversight from our experienced physicians, Whitehall Boca Raton offers specialized comprehensive nursing and rehab programs in neurological, orthopedic, cardiac, pulmonary, and post-operative surgical care and outpatient therapy provided by our highly experienced nurses and therapists. While recovering, you will receive 24-hour licensed nursing care along with dietary and nutrition services. We accept Medicare and other major insurances. Come see the Whitehall Boca Raton difference. Call 561-392-3000 for more information or to schedule a tour with our admissions team, and we will answer any one of your questions. You can also visit our website at whitehallboca.com. For more information, call 561-392-3000. That's 561-392-3000. Whitehall Boca Raton is committed to provide you with the best medical care.
SkyMed Pharmacy is a full-service pharmacy. Our services include home infusion therapy, nursing services, and a mail-order pharmacy delivering specialty drugs directly to your home. Our team of clinical pharmacists, certified technicians, and nurses provide comprehensive patient care, generating treatment of chronic diseases both attainable and affordable. SkyMed has a foundation department and a copay assistant program. Our staff is available daily to answer any questions you may have. Contact SkyMed Pharmacy and Infusion Services at 866-778-8255, 866-778-8255, or visit us at skymed.com. That's SKYEMED.com.
Are you having trouble sleeping or staying asleep? Feel like you've tried everything and nothing works? Studies show if we are out of balance or too acidic, it can directly affect our sleep. Now, a new doctor-formulated solution is available directly to you. Alkaline Boosters is a fast and natural way to get a restful night's sleep. Take advantage of this promotional offer to buy your Alkaline Boosters today and start sleeping better tomorrow. Call 1-800-994-5361. That's 1-800-994-5361.
Thank you for listening to Community Connections with Norma G. We're the place where we talk about your business, a product, an idea, or a project to get the word out to our community. I'm your host, occupational therapist Norma Guerrero. Today we are sharing our passions while connecting with our community. Give us a call at 888-565-1470 and join our conversation. Don't forget to tune in every Monday night at 5 to 6 p.m. to join me, Norma G, and our guests to find out about what's hot, what's new, and what's happening in our community. Can't wait to see you there. Now let's rejoin the show. Welcome back to Community Connections. You are listening to Norma Guerrero. I'm your host today, and I'm very happy to have Dr. Clive Woods here in the house.
Yep.
Thank you so much for being here. And we just, had a nice conversation talking about some sports injuries related to lateral instability or, losing that, the importance of that, with walking in the ankle. And so, Dr. Woods, before we move further, first of all, how do we find you? Where are you located, and what practice are you working at?
Yeah, so I'm at Gelb Sports Medicine. A couple ways you can find me. First of all, the phone number, 561-558-8898. Our website is www.gelbmd, that's GELBMD.com. And also you can find me on Facebook, Clive Woods, MD.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much for sharing that. And so you are a surgeon.
Yes.
And so you're doing surgeries out of West Boca Medical Center, and I believe you told me another hospital as well.
Yeah, so I do West Boca Medical Center, Coral Springs Medical Center, Northwest Medical Center, in addition to that, Park Creek Surgery Center.
Okay, so you're a little bit more on the west side.
Yes.
You know, on the west side of Coral Springs, Parkland, Boca Raton area.
Exactly.
Great, great, great. And so, you know, when I look at the hip and I look at the shoulder,
Yes.
you know, it has circumduction.
Yes.
It has flexion, extension, abduction.
Yes.
You know, it has a lot of movements. The knee and the elbow just flex and extend. What does the foot and ankle have as far as range of motion?
You have a lot of range of motion. So, I mean, you have dorsiflexion, which is sort of the ankle going up. You have plantar flexion, so planting the foot down. You can have supination. You can have pronation of the foot. And also you can have inversion and eversion. So the difference between inversion, eversion, and supination, pronation, inversion, eversion, the foot is sort of going this way, and supination, pronation kind of moves that way.
Oh, yes, yes. Kind of like the hand is supination.
Exactly.
So as far as when people's feet go inward, what is that?
That's pronation. So someone that has flat feet, we would say, oh, you know, you pronate, as opposed to someone that has high arches, we'll say you supinate.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as far as the inversion and eversion,
Yeah.
that's just in or out.
Yeah, that comes a little bit more
That's like
with
ulnar or radial deviation.
Yeah, exactly. So in some cases, you'll see it sometimes in the kids when they're in toeing or out toeing. So, you know, they kind of walk with their toes in or they walk with it out. That doesn't necessarily come from the ankle, but that would be the look that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. So let's move on to the next part, trauma.
Yes.
You know, trauma injuries.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you see people, you know, they're just, with the stitches or staples after a surgical, you know, or just a cast or something. And sometimes you see that big external fixator thing.
Yeah.
Do you do that as
Oh,
well?
yeah, I do. So a couple of things. I do external fixators. I also do circular frames, which is more multiplanar. So an X-Fix, usually we use that for, let's say someone has any kind of trauma that's open and we just want to stabilize it. Sometimes we may do it for, let's say, you have a diabetic patient with an ankle fracture and you're scared they're going to walk on it. They have neuropathy and it may start collapsing, so you'll put an external fixator on it. The circular frames are more for deformities if we're trying to correct the deformity. Let's say someone had an old fracture and it healed in what we call a malunion, meaning the wrong position. Sometimes I may go in there and make a cut, and then on this frame, they actually have programs now. One of the programs is for the tailorspatial frame by a company named Smith & Nephew, where you can put these frames on and you say, okay, well, the deformity is in this plane, and it's a whole computer program that comes up and it says, okay, turn this dial maybe one turn today or a quarter turn tomorrow, and then literally you see that deformity start to change as it's healing and get back to a normal alignment. Yeah.
And do you see trauma in, the younger adults as well as in the older adults?
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, so I trained at University of Miami Jackson Memorial. Everyone knows Jackson Memorial is like one of the big trauma hospitals. So I saw a lot of trauma, did a lot of trauma there in the younger population. The funny thing is now that I'm in Boca, I'm seeing a lot of trauma in the elderly population because the population is mostly the elderly. So I do a lot of ankle fractures and besides ankle fractures, hip fractures, wrist fractures, if someone falls and breaks their hip. So that's a common sort of general orthopedic procedure that I do besides foot and ankle.
Yeah, and we've said this before many times on the show that even though it is an elderly population here in South Florida, because of the weather,
yes,
and because of a lot of the health and wellness, fitness mindset around here, a lot of the elderly folks, 70 years and up, are still playing tennis.
Oh yeah,
are still playing golf.
Yes.
And so they are still athletes in their own, in their own speed.
Oh, yes.
Because I see it as well.
Yeah.
That I'll be like, what do you mean you fell off your bike?
Yeah.
Aren't you like 84?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They do that all the time. Yep.
It happens. But, a lot of the falls come from tripping over the curves, getting into the parking lot. Sometimes it's chasing after a lizard.
Yeah.
Or
That
tripping,
one time.
and as an occupational therapist, we're to assess home safety.
Yeah.
And, it's don't put those rugs that slip out of the way. Have grab bars installed in your shower.
Yeah.
Have use a walker or a cane if it's been recommended to you, or if you have a daughter or son that's telling you, please, mom and dad, please use it. Because I say it's always easier I know there's vanity and all that involved, but trust me, if you can avoid, not that I don't want you to have business,
Yeah.
and not that I don't want me to have business, if you can avoid injury,
Yeah.
it really is,
Right.
so many things can be preventable. Accidents are happening, they will always happen, but it's so heartbreaking sometimes when you see people and they just stare at you and go, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, no, it
I don't
happens a
know what
lot.
happened. It
Yeah, it's
happens a
very
lot.
common.
But a
Yeah.
lot of things can be preventable on wires, phone cords and those types of things, or rushing. Oh, the phone rang and I just wanted to get it.
Yes.
Don't worry, you can call them back. There's
Exactly.
caller ID.
Yeah.
So then you have reconstruction.
Yes.
And so tell me about the reconstruction aspect.
So reconstruction consists of, let's say, those deformities that I told you if they healed incorrectly. So that is one. The circular frames is one thing that I do. In addition to that, flat foot reconstruction. So let's say someone starts to lose their arch and it's painful. Orthotics aren't working. Braces aren't working. That's one of the procedures that I do. High arches. If you're having lateral border of your foot, so a lot of times when people have high arches, they're standing more on this side, so they can get pain because the pressure points are different. So that's one procedure that I perform. And another procedure that I perform that a lot of the general population, even since I've been up here, don't realize that orthopedics, but specifically foot and ankle orthopedic surgeons perform, is bunions, hammer toes, Morton neuromas. So bunions and hammer toes are common things that I do. And mostly the main times that we do this is pain, if you're having from the bunion or hammer toes, not for any cosmetic reasons, because sometimes you may get a procedure for your hammer toe, and if you're doing it for cosmetic, you're going to have an incision there, maybe some swelling in the toe. And so people may say, oh, well, I thought it was going to look like, plastic surgery. And it's not that, it's for function.
Yes. And so, and also, I mean, that's a fit. Some people just have. I have a small little bit of a development of a bunion, but
Okay.
fortunately, I'm not. I had pain for a good 6 months with it one, but it's calmed down. I'm
Good.
pretty good, and who knows what arthritis for me
Yeah.
comes and goes.
Yes.
It goes, and then a year and a half later, it comes back, and but unless it's profoundly deviated,
Yeah.
and it just cosmetically looks like a mess,
Yeah.
but still, why would to go under? Or it's affecting your gait
Yeah,
and your balance,
exactly.
because we know the big toe
Yeah,
is
plays a big
a big part
Yeah.
in our balance
Yeah.
and stuff. And so if it's deviated,
Yeah.
it can affect function.
Exactly.
But if you don't have pain,
No need to.
Yeah,
Or shoe wear. Sometimes I have done it for, if it's really deviated and it's not really affecting their gait, but they can't get in the shoes because their foot is so wide.
Yeah.
That's another reason why.
yeah, there's so many reasons why. Well, I think it's incredible what you do. Just getting to know you and seeing that you're out there in the community, and I love meeting. I love meeting you, and as well as all my other people, because it's nice to know who the person behind all this knowledge and your skill set and your expertise. But everyone has their own little take on how they approach medicine and their skill set, and so it's super, super nice to meet you. And tell us again, Dr. Woods, how do we find you? And if someone wanted to give him a call.
Yeah. So I'm located at Gale Sports Medicine. That's it's on 9980 Central Park North. That's in West Boca or Boca Raton. Phone number is 561-558-8898. And there's galebmd.com. And then in addition to that, Clive Woods MD on Facebook.
That's right. That's right. And so we'll be posting that up there, and so you'll be able to find them and listen to this video and share it with your friends and all that. And so thank you so much. I wish you well for you and your family with helping out those countries as well.
Same to you.
Everybody, is helping with this. And I want to thank Kathy Swindle over at West Boca Medical Center, the marketing coordinator over there, the director of business development. I'm not sure exactly. Kathy's in the room with us right now. What's your title again?
Senior care.
Senior care?
Yes.
Senior care specialist.
Senior care specialist, and she sure is, and I've learned a lot from her, and it's been a wonderful partnership. I want to thank Whitehall Boca Raton and SkyMed Pharmacy, and once again, Isla del Coqui, Puerto Rican cuisine. They are collecting items for the people in Puerto Rico that have so many needs. They are located at 3092 Jog Road, Green Acres, Florida, 33467. My name is Norma Guerrero. I'm your host. I'm an occupational therapist. You can reach me at 954-802-2015. You can also go visit my website at ccnormag.com, and you can find out how to be a guest on the show and look at some of the sponsors of the show and find out more about them as well. Or you can email me at ccnormag@gmail.com. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. We'll be back next Monday. Looking forward to the show. I know for sure Paul Finkelstein with competitivecommunicators.com, as well as Toastmasters International coming on, and they're bringing a real fascinating guest on, an inspirational speaker and author, and trying to work on my second guest right now. So look forward to the week. Have a safe week, everyone, and have a great week. Thank you for listening, Community. You've been listening to Community Connections with Norma G. We will be back next Monday from 5 to 6 p.m. with new guests to share about what's hot, what's new, and what's happening in our community. Did you hear something you liked today on our show? Please contact me, Norma G, at 954-802-2015 or email me at ccnormag@gmail.com. I look forward to helping you expand your business, project, or idea and connect with our community.